Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this live stream on Ramadan campaign. I am Tabe Hamdani, and I'm really honored to host this program today, which is part of the bigger campaign being run by and owned by Generation One Migrants and Australian Multicultural Communities United, charity organizations in Melbourne. The aim of this campaign was to spread the message to 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 um, to explain the Ramadan to other Australian communities, and the idea here is to have virtual visits and share Ramadan routine and other Muslim practices from different cultures with other Australian communities. For this, we thank the Department of Multicultural Affairs in Victoria for making this event possible. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Muslim calendar and the holy month of fasting, which is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. It begins and ends with the appearance of the crescent moon. Today, we have lovely guests who will be sharing their routine with us. And our first guest is Mr. Hakeem, and we'll be taking them online. And hello and assalamu alaikum, Mr. Hakeem.
Wa alaikum salam, Tabai.
How are you, sir?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us on your show this afternoon.
No, thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing your routine with us, and thank you for being our guests. You are here with your lovely wife, and how are you doing, and how has Ramzan been so far?
Alhamdulillah. My name is Ati. Ramadan going so far so good. Alhamdulillah.
Right, and what's your routine starting from preparing from Ramadan? How long have you been here in Australia?
Is that Hakim or for me?
For both of you, for Mr. Hakeem and for you.
Okay, I'll start. Never mind, we have a clown at the back there.
Yes, mashallah.
So it's just to make it a bit more interesting. Yeah, I've been around here for almost 19 years now. I came in Australia in 2002, and yeah, so that's been my journey here so far.
And
I came here 2010, and it's been 11 years. Yeah, and we have Yusuf here. It's gonna be 10 years long. Inshallah.
Mashallah, you have a lovely family. And how how is your usual Ramadan preparation here? You know, what's your routine during the month, and how do you prepare yourself?
Well, the routine here is just the same. Like early morning, get up for sahur, like before.
Yeah, but remember, I usually have a little bit of things before the month starts.
Yeah.
So if I may just take you, if I may just interrupt you a little bit there. Prior to Ramadan, because of the special month that we Muslims regard the holy month to be, there's always a bit of anticipation towards it. So we usually try to get ourselves in the mood by some people will often do some special type of fasting before that period. For us as a family, prior to the beginning of the month, we will do a bit of shopping to make sure that we get all the basic things we need for the month of Ramadan. Yes.
Excellent. And I see that you are from different different cultures, because we see that every culture is different and they've got different Ramadan customs.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
Yes. Hakim is from Nigeria. I'm from Indonesia. And yeah, so more or less the same.
Alhamdulillah, Islam is a universal religion, so to say, you can say. So it doesn't matter where you are, the practices are the same, the fundamental practices of fasting is the same routine everywhere. We have to wake up at a certain time before dawn, and then we break at sunset. So, like I said, the fundamentals of the rituals are the same. However, there are some cultural things that have crept in here and there. So yeah, we manage that. It just has a bit of variety to our household because both of us are able to share those differences as well.
Absolutely, and I think that this is this is just adding to the beautification of the month itself, having different cultural practices, and it fills in colors, and it adds on a variety of experiences. So if I say that, if I ask you that, what is Ramadan to you, and what does it mean to you, the holy month of Ramadan?
Such a good question. Ramadan to me is most and foremost is the month of forgiveness. It's a month of kindness. It's a month of giving. So let me not take all away because I leave some for my wife to describe. Yeah, but it's such a special month for us as Muslims, and it's something we always look forward to every year, and always very lucky to be able to participate in Ramadan.
Right, and it does have a lot of significance as well, even historically, and for the religion itself. There's so much that has happened in the month of Ramadan. The Quran was completed in Ramadan, and the Prophet's last sermon was here today. The Friday has a lot of significance. So how do you plan your routine throughout the month, and while you're working and living a practical life? How do you manage that?
Living here is not many choices. I must say, for you Muslim, you have to practice what you've been asked from Allah, and without neglecting what you have to do in here. So you have to do your life as normal as you can, going to work, looking after the family, and also fasting at the same time. So yeah, no difference between during fasting and the other months.
Yeah. But for me, in the month of Ramadan, because it's such a special time, I try to make provisions to. I tend to work. I tend to work a little less than normal because
Yes.
So I use a bit of my energy for spiritual devotions. As you may be aware, every night we tend to go for the nightly prayers in the masjid. So on ordinary months, it is not so much important, especially it is not so much done because, especially because of this COVID crisis. But
Yeah.
in the month of Ramadan, especially more so this year than last, we are very, very lucky to be able to get back into the mosque. So that is one of the routines that we have kind of, or the entire family has settled into this year. So usually, like you said, in the morning, we have to wake up really early, like around 4:30, to make things ready for the suhoor, which is the rite of eating early in the morning. And then we do our early morning prayer after that. Sometimes, depending on the load of work, we might get to sleep or we might just stay on and start our day from there straight away. Yeah.
So this can really take some getting used to, going on with a normal routine and fasting.
Yes, it takes about 2 or 3 days to get it going, as usual. Even the hunger pang, takes as long to settle down. It takes the body to settle down, but it looks, when I discuss with my non-Muslim friends and I tell them how fasting and they tell me how difficult it is, just as you
Yeah.
mentioned, I say, subhanallah, it is not as hard as people think only until they practice it, because initially the body is used to a certain routine. So of course, when you take it off that routine, like anything else, if you like, it's like if you go for a run for the first time, or you go and climb a mountain for the first time, it's gonna be
Yeah.
hard that first. It's gonna feel hard for you that first day. But if you do it the second time, the third time, the fourth time, your body will just naturally adjust. So I say, it's not as crazy as people make it look like. This
Yeah.
is exactly what our body is designed to handle, so we can
Yeah.
always do all these things. Yeah.
And what are the what are takeaways, and what do you take away when you keep a fast, and when you break it, and this is of course driven by a very strong faith in Allah, in this religion. So what do you take away from fasting, and what are the lessons that are learned, and what are other benefits you think that Ramadan has?
For me personally, Ramadan just not just it gives me lots of patience to do things, to deal with things, people. So it teaches me how to calm, and sometimes you have to let go of things that doesn't always work.
Yes.
And yeah, Ramadan is also like the special time for you to get closer to Allah, and
Yes.
also try your best to do all the sunnah that Rasulullah SAW
Yes.
taught us. Yeah.
Yes, and it's a religion of community building, for Muslim communities to get stronger together, because you get to meet, and this also, I believe, that give opportunities to even get the non-Muslim members of the community, and you can invite them over, let's say for iftar, and this gives opportunity to educate people of the religion and your culture. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. So just back to your question, for me, one of the things that I take away from Ramadan is I will confess here, and my wife is aware of it.
Yeah.
I don't pretend as if I don't feel hungry. I feel the hunger, and I think it's one of the essence of the religion. Like, it is there to give you practical lessons and to learn the hardship of people that do not have as much. So when you perform Ramadan and you understand how people can lack, maybe end up lacking things in their life, fundamentally maybe food or clothing or some of the basic things of life that we take for granted, you are moved to have compassion for others, because you feel it as other people do feel as well. So for me, I cannot take away from that. That's a very, very fundamental lesson. Another thing, like you said, is the bringing together of the community. So often when we break fast, uh, we try to do it with members of the community, with friends, or people that we have different kind of relationship with. So it brings us together. We share food. We pray together, and that is also consolidates us to be member of the community we live in. Yeah.
Communities, and in this month, you have more to give, to contribute in the community as a person, as a member, and even in charity to the needy people.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely, most definitely, yes.
and and do you find it different from, because living in Australia, and you're coming from two different cultural backgrounds, and are there differences here, and what difference do you feel being here in Australia, coming from different cultures, and how Ramadan and Eid are celebrated back in Indonesia and Nigeria?
Well, I don't really see much difference between both our communities. We have similar, sounds like, or seems like similar background, yeah? Yeah. So from the food, from the lifestyle.
As in spicy food, as you may be aware. So we both have, yeah, so we both have we both have likeness for spicy food. Sometimes very colorful. Yeah, so the food is very similar. The practices are sometimes even similar, because I remember, to actually let you know one of the fun part. There's a particular genre of music in Nigeria which actually came out of one of the rituals in Ramadan. So back home when we were young, the young ones, you usually go about waking up people early in the morning. As you know, this is before. Yeah, this is before the radio and TV and everything. So they have a way of just organizing basic percussion, drums, and anything that they can put together, and they'll just go in the neighborhood and just wake up people and sing. Just make songs, just typical songs to wake people up to wake up and observe your Ramadan, do your prayer, eat your food. So I think I shared that with my wife one time, and she said, "Yeah, the kids back in Indonesia do the same thing." And I said to her, "Well, we went one bit further, because we actually made a genre of music out of that. That particular music is called music. It's a very very popular brand, international brand now."
Yes. Really, that is something really interesting. Yeah. But I share this similar. I'm coming from Pakistan, and we also have that dhol, which goes on early in the morning to wake people up. And I've heard that, and this is something common I see across the cultures. So do you miss that here in Australia? Having that instrument being played?
No, you're not allowed to.
On this note, our other guest, she has just joined us in, and I'll make her part of this conversation. Are you there, Nurul Rahman?
Assalamualaikum. How are you?
Assalamualaikum. Walaikum salam. How are you? And thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. How are you, Hakeem and Ariati? I was listening. It was really interesting. Kau baik, apa khabar?
Kabar baik.
Tabe Hamdani. Thank you so much for joining in, and we were just talking about cultures, and we would like to know a little bit about you. You are where you are in Australia, and how long you have been here. What's your profession and your background for our viewers?
Hello everyone. Assalamualaikum. Ramadan Kareem to everyone. My name is Nurul Rahman, and I am currently in Melbourne CBD, in Dockland. I'm from Malaysia, from Penang. And I've been in Melbourne, Australia I came here in 2003. So I've been here quite a while now, and I've been celebrating Ramadan almost most of the time here. So I am working as instructional learning experience designer or instructional designer. I work at Monash, and I also teach user experience at RMIT University. So I came here to study, and I completed my study. And then I decided to stay in Australia. I met my husband here. He's not from Australia. He's from France, and then we decided to live in Australia. In between time, we did move to Malaysia and stay in Malaysia for a few years just to experience different culture. I also had a chance to go to France, not to live, but to visit family. So then we start our small family. I have two little kids, and so we decided to come back to Australia and live here.
Lovely, mashallah. That's wonderful. And now we have two people with different cultures together as a couple. And how do you find it different Ramadan practices in Australia, and how do you prepare and celebrate Ramadan, and what is Ramadan for you?
Yeah, and so I'm sorry that I didn't have much prepared for Ramadan. You can see the background. It's still the house, still house. It's different because like I hear Hakeem and then just now I was talking. But then where I come from is very happening. It is the whole month of blessing where everybody is celebrating Ramadan. And even when we wake up in Sahur in the village, you can hear people are knocking people's door, waking up everyone. So it's a whole month of celebration in that way. So I started fasting when I was a little kid because that whole community. To Australia, of course, this is a big difference. Every day is like every day. There's except you and your family, you can create that in your family, but it's the community is different. That said, we still celebrate Ramadan in our small family. It's not it's different, but it is still Ramadan is beautiful, and we celebrate it as much as we can, and try to balance between Ramadan and work in Australia.
Right. I have I've had the honor of visiting Malaysia as well, and it's also it's very religiously unified. Malaysians, and I coincidentally went in Ramadan as well, and it was very festive. And what was wonderful about Malaysia was that everybody was respecting each other, and especially in Ramadan. So you already come from a background with multi-religious and multi-ethnical people, and how do you compare that and your life in Australia?
Yeah, I guess in Malaysia, it is quite people are aware of Ramadan because it is Malaysia is a Muslim country, and then you have other people who different religious and different belief who respect each other. It's different, isn't it? Because for example, when I was at school, when I was little in school, we in class we have people with different religious belief, and we celebrate. So it's not only Ramadan, it's other celebration. It's Chinese New Year, we will celebrate together. If it's a Christmas, we will celebrate together. So it's that respect that makes enjoy all this festival together. And in Ramadan, I know some of my friends will be like, Nurul, can I eat in front of you? Is it okay? And I still have the question here. People are very nice. He's still asking, are you practicing Ramadan?
Yes.
But I think here you don't. I don't really say that I'm practicing Ramadan until someone asks me.
Right.
I'll keep it quietly. Whereas in Malaysia, people know this is Ramadan. The ads, the advertisement, the TVs, everything is showing is Ramadan. So everybody knows it's Ramadan. Whereas here, you don't see that. So people don't know whether you're practicing or not, and they don't want to ask you until you come forward and say, "Oh, I'm practicing Ramadan," and then they'll ask, Yeah. Can I eat in front of you? Am I allowed to eat in front of you? And then that
Yeah.
opened up a nice conversation.
Excellent, excellent. Is the experience similar to you, Hakeem and Ati? My same question to you, interacting with the other community members in Australia.
Oh yeah, the same. It's like at work usually when other people's eating, they concern like, why you not eating? Are you fasting again? I was like, yes, because usually I do my sunnah fasting, and then this time they just wonder like, why are you fasting too long? I said like, because this one is Ramadan. Oh, okay, all right. And then they always concern like, make sure like, okay, so have a good iftar tonight or something like that. Or we just say goodbye afterwards. It's nice, yeah. I'm lucky at this place because of their really supportive and nice.
Yeah.
One common question that I have faced is that you cannot even have water during fasting.
Yes.
Oh,
This is something you get a lot, but this gives an opportunity to explain your your beliefs in religion, and I believe that your Ramadan is a month which is celebrated by almost 1.5 billion people in the world, and people are quite familiar with it, but when this started, it gives a good conversation starter, and you can explain it to them about where you're from and how Islam is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 And if I may just add to that,
Ye-
what
yes,
I
please, Hakeem.
said and as well. So what
Yes.
happens with me is I particularly personally struggle for fasting, except for Ramadan, of course. But when I'm fasting, I usually let my manager know so that just so that they know, if maybe they notice a decline in my productivity, or maybe the time
Mm.
I'm putting in, because I've got to do certain things at certain time as well for my own spiritual well-being. So I usually have that conversation, and then I also use the opportunity to let my colleagues know, just to, like you said, educate them. And one very important practice which I would recommend to people here is often after Ramadan. I started this when at a previous working place. I band together with the Muslim in the company, in the organization, and we usually organize an iftar, like for the end of Ramadan, sweets for everybody, just so it can actually be a collective celebration. So often in that gathering, people will come and ask all types of questions. So I often say I'm not here to personalize or to convert people,
Yes.
but there's always an opportunity to engage one another and have a better understanding. So that usually, helps. Yeah.
Yeah. In the workplace, it's fantastic because people are aware and they allow me, to have that flexibility because they know I'm fasting. I think that's really nice to have that here when you're doing Ramadan here. Yeah, and the question are more about like you said, how do you do it? And then you explain when you wake up in the morning and all the diets. That's really yeah, engaging after that, and people are aware after that, so you get better.
My question to both of you would be, what is one thing that inspires you the most? What's the most inspirational thing about fasting and Ramadan in this whole experience? That would you like to share with our viewers?
Um, I think if as a believer and as someone that understands the religion,
Yes.
it is magnificent. It is the most magnificent gift from Allah to humankind for us to have a month as holy as Ramadan, because there are so many benefits that we get from the whole month, and especially the last 10 days of Ramadan. So there are many the benefits that we get from it. So I can say I'm truly inspired to put in my best in those last 10 days, especially to get the maximum reward for the effort and the fasting done in the month. Yeah.
My same question to you, then, Nurul.
Yeah, for me, you were asking about, what's the best in Ramadan for me. Yeah.
Inspiration. What inspires you the most?
What inspired me? Every Ramadan, I feel like I'm a person, because every Ramadan I restructure my life, my timing in waking up, my way of eating, my behavior, and my being conscious on conversation, my thoughts. So that's really what inspired me. The fact that I feel every Ramadan, I feel like I'm a new person. I am, making changes. I'm progressing in being a better person in Ramadan, and I try to bring that in my family. So now, the fact that we all in family waking up in the morning, change our way of doing, change our way of
Yes.
saying, it's really what keeps me what I want to do Ramadan every year. So I really sad when Ramadan is, when the end of Ramadan, because we're gonna be back on our normal routine.
Long routine, yes. And for me, I think it is something that enables me to think that, and gives me a lot of independence, as a person, and on a spiritual level as well. That you are depending on so many things, your caffeine and your teas and your food, and when once you are in a Ramadan routine, you realize that you don't need all that. I mean, you can even go along your day without water as well.
You suffer a bit in the very beginning, of course,
Of
like
course.
anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I like also, Tabe, is that it tests you, your being strong. How do you deal with this? If you can't get it, how do you deal with this? I mean, I don't smoke, and I don't have much coffee, because I'm not. But I can sympathize for people who are smoking and
Yes.
also have coffee. It's very, very hard.
It is hard, and it also gives you a realization of people who are suffering, people who are in need around the world. That this also gives you a bit of a brief experience on that as well, so that you realize, and you give charities more. Now, moving forward, now we are almost towards the end of Ramadan. We are concluding this, and we are going towards Eid, which will be announced after sighting the moon. So how do you guys prepare for Eid, and what's a typical Eid for you, starting from Hakeem and Ati, in Australia, and how did you celebrate back home? How do you celebrate it here? What's the difference?
That's
Can't compare.
that's a nice question. Brings fond memories, actually, celebrating it back home. Yeah, you just look forward to that one morning that you are able to eat, because all along the last 30 days you're not able to eat, and the mothers back home will make special food for you, the special delicacies in the morning, and
Yes.
I look forward to that. And it is one of those that which you must eat before you go to the morning prayer as well. So that morning breakfast food is always special. It is special.
Of
In
course.
Australia, it's a little bit different, because it's usually working days, so it's not as much with excitement. But all the same, I believe that you make your life what you want to. So I normally ask for a day off on the day, even when I wasn't married, and I'll go for the early morning prayer, and then just do things that I like to do. But Alhamdulillah, since I got married now for almost 11 years, it's a special
Mashallah.
day, because going to the Eid with the family is always fun. You know, it's not just me by myself going to the Eid anymore. I go with my own group, and because it's a kind of bittersweet moment on Eid sometimes when you go to the Eid prayer and everybody's like doing salams and you just feel like a stranger because you know you're completely delineated from the people that are doing this. But when you go in your own little circle or group of family, it's actually very much heartwarming. So yeah, it's a good time. Yeah. You?
You can't compare.
Yeah.
Get back home is always a big festival where people like wear new clothes and then eat good food, food that you only can get during the Eid that you hardly get during in other time. Yeah. So yeah, Eid at home is always like I miss it still until now. So early morning usually we go for prayer and then come home and then we ask forgiveness from our parents to the elders and then to the youngest. So it's just beautiful. And then on top of that, like in Indonesia culture, we have like asking the young ones whether like they're fasting or not. If they're fasting full month of Ramadan, they're gonna get like we call it like ang pao, something like a
green
gift.
Duit raya.
Yeah, duit raya. Literally like what do you call eat money. So usually little kids always excited to tell the elders like, hey, grandma or auntie, I completed my fasting. So they usually like the rich people, little people during it. Yeah, and back here, the reality, just like my husband said, early morning, we always like rush, get ready, wear our best clothes to go for Eid, like had a little breakfast in the morning, and then off to the field for Eid prayer. And back home, just relax a bit. And usually we have people who invite us over, or otherwise like last year because we couldn't do much, so we invite people just like the close neighbors over to our place for having Eid lunch. Yeah, that's all about it. Yeah.
Wow. And do you have cultural dresses? Do you dress yourself up with respect to your cultures? Do you dress up culturally?
Oh, my husband does.
Yeah.
As you can see, all the time. I'm more like the natural one, like things like that.
Hakeem, we would definitely ask for pictures on Eid Day then.
Oh yeah, no trouble supplying. I'm very eager to give you pictures.
Yeah, we look forward to that. And you, Zan, what about you? How you prepare to eat?
Yeah, just before that, I want to say I really like the texture, the pattern. Hakeem is really nice.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
nice color. Yeah. Oh, for me, Malaysian culture is quite similar to Indonesian culture. So what reminds me in Raya in Malaysia is my family have this practice that we will wake up before subuh and we will have a sunat. We have a first sunat shower. And since a kid, we all do that. So my my grandmother, everybody will be wake up early, and the whole house is loud with a lot of noise. Mom's asking everybody to wake up, and also everyone will come to one house, my grandmother's house. So you can imagine the house is packed. People are sleeping on the floor here, up there. It's packed with everyone. I mean, that's really beautiful for me. And then the whole routine before the shower, the first shower, we will cook, we will prepare food. So we will chat while cooking rendang. We were making the ketupat, the food, traditional food. And then we put the cookies, the raya cookies in the pot, getting ready for tomorrow. So this is really nice. What I think I miss a lot, that I can't get here. But then I have family here. So when I was alone, it's a bit sad because I didn't have family. But now I have family on my own. So I sort of apply that here. So I will wake up before subuh, wake up my children, and then I prepare food before the night before. This weekend we'll make some cookies, the raya cookies. So I said to them, this weekend we're gonna make raya cookies. That's how my mom used to do. We stay up after sahur to
Lovely.
kue raya cookies. So
Lovely.
I'm gonna
That's
do
lovely.
that with the kids. Yeah, and then I'm gonna prepare rendang. I'm gonna prepare things that I miss at home, and we're gonna do that here. That's what I've been doing since last year, for the kids, so that they have the same memory, not as much similar to mine because at home there's a lot of people. But hopefully that's enough for them to remember the Ramadan and Shawwal.
Lovely. That's really lovely. That's lovely. You want to contribute something, Hakeem?
Yeah,
No,
here Hakeem is.
the only thing I want to add is that it's a point of cultural difference I noticed. In as much as I've been agreeing with the Indonesian and the sister from Malaysia as well.
Yeah.
However, in Nigeria, as you are both aware, we have two Eids in Islam. We have this one and Eid al-Adha. For us back in West Africa, the Eid al-Adha is the big celebration.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is one difference between me and my wife, because I went with her 1 year to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, and I realized that the whole country was just like moving up and down. It was huge there. And I'm thinking that's exactly what we do in Eid al-Adha. So that's just one difference, just to note. Yeah. But otherwise, everything is similar.
In Malaysia, Hakim, we have different states who celebrate Eid al-Adha bigger than Eid al-Fitri. So the Kelantan, Terengganu, the East Coast state, they will, the Eid al-Adha is huge there, and the Ramadan, end of Ramadan first shower is not that big. But I understand, that. But yeah, so here to add a bit here, what I found is I try to reach out to some of the Malay community. I do radio, so there are Malay community, and to to feel that celebration is to meet the people, and then we visiting, ask for forgiveness. Now we do with family, we do a Zoom ask for forgiveness. We do this.
Yeah. Post-COVID features.
Yeah, we can't touch the hand, so we like Zoom, and we said, and then we say the same thing. We ask for forgiveness, and make 0-0 this year came out. No more. Please just forgive me, and then we do the whole celebration through Zoom too. So you can still do it, just far.
It's the spirit that counts and the intention. And Islam is all about intentions. You all is well if your intentions are pure. This is what
exactly. It's all about how what you intend to do.
And so my next question to you guys would be your food preparation. How do you prepare your food, and what do you like eating in Sahur and in Iftar? And are there any cultural influences with your respective cultures in your choice of food?
We'll go for Hakim first.
Yeah,
Yes, well, yes, definitely. I must say though, prior to me getting married, I've never been fussy about food. I just eat whatever comes along. So, you know, I didn't have to care for too many people, so I'll just make whatever I can as usual. But now that I have a family and I feel I have more responsibility, I do try to make an effort to introduce them to food, especially that is very good and nutritious and, how will I say, of benefit in the month of Ramadan. Because even though we don't eat as much, but whatever little we eat, I try to make sure that it's very full of nutrients and full of enough energy to sustain us right through. So what I try to do is, back home, we have the practice of usually having something a little bit watery, runny, like to break the fast with, either in form of a soup or in form of what I call custard. Yeah. So in the years gone by, I used to eat a lot of. I used to break my fast with custard. But now these days I've modified that and I've gone with some. There are a couple of African shops that have already sprung up in Melbourne as well. So we do get some of these, traditional, even though prepared in a modern method, preserved in a modern method. We have that now, so I use that. Yes. Yeah.
Right, and
yeah, I'm happy to. But why you talk about yours? So,
sure, we would love to see. We would love to see.
I will.
What,
I just want to show them.
what's your menu for today? And if I would love to, if you love to share.
So I don't know if you can see me now. I just want to demonstrate to you some of the food. So, well, this is one of the shops in Melbourne here, and they sell what is called this here. This is a powdered form of similar to, like I was saying, the custard. So what I will do is, when I want to break fast, I will make this into a paste, and then I'll just add hot boiling water to it, and then just turn it around and until it's running smooth like that, to make something like that. Same with this, it's exactly the same, but just a bit of a different taste. And then when I want to eat solid, we usually eat solid, and you need a lot of carbohydrates in Ramadan. So this is something we call gari. Gari is made from cassava flour, and that's the food in itself. And I will eat that. I will show you, and my lovely wife has already prepared a very nice bowl of how would I say, sauce here. Yeah. So I will complement that with this. Can't see. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to, but I think I may have to tilt the camera.
Little blur. Yeah.
And then
Lovely.
yeah. So
you said it is made from a flour. You said.
Yes. No. The gari is made from cassava flour. Yes.
Right.
Cassava into the grain. Yeah. So that's what takes me home every night.
Lovely. Of course. So and what would you prefer? Would you prefer eating for suhoor and iftar? Is it Mike?
For iftar, usually we break with fruit. Hakeem's like date. Well, I'm happy with any fruit but date. I eat date sometimes, but not too much. We normally eat rice because of Asian. We rice eater. So sometimes if I do not cook rice, I cook other things. I cook beef food. It's like what do you call that? It's like noodles. Sister Nurul might know this one. Where's the camera? Okay, that's like, we call it bihun. So it's like a rice chimichurri. Is it, sister?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
that's very
That
nice.
that
So
looks
we eat
delicious.
with lots of chili as usual.
See, I might be able to move the camera.
Yeah,
Actually,
no, that's
let me
alright.
just say there.
Oh,
So this is, if you just open there, I don't know. So this is like a, this is not, we don't have this every night, by the way, just to say.
Right.
But this is what our food when we are breaking will look like. I'm trying to get
Wow.
it as much as
this
I
is
can.
something good.
Yeah.
Gari.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
It goes with the sauce there.
okay. So usually what they do, they take the gari and
Dunk it there. Yep.
into the sauce.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
And that
this
is
one is my
bihun.
But usually for dessert we have this one. Nurul, do you know this one?
Which one? Is it pengat?
We call it kola.
Yes.
Is it with the
This is
banana?
kola. It's banana, and then this palm
Coconut.
seed in the coconut milk. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we call it kola.
That's delicious.
Yeah.
Ah.
So yeah,
Yes.
we usually have it like when you break your fasting or later after you back from Tarawih prayer. Yeah.
Excellent, lovely. That's really tempting. Mouth
And
it
then
looks delicious.
for sahur, usually we just eat leftover.
That's really, really, really nice. You already prepare your iftar. That's very quick.
No, I just took whatever I got in the kitchen sister, and not usually like this.
Nice,
Anyway,
nice.
just
That's very nice.
I had time. Alhamdulillah.
That is
I
really
love
nice.
bihun goreng. Mm.
Lovely, lovely, colorful dishes. And what about you, Zainul? Am I pronouncing your
Yeah,
name right?
just call me Nurul or Noor.
Noor. Noor. Right. Noor.
Yeah, Noor. Yeah, easy. Sorry, my name is not easy to pronounce, so just call me Noor. Yeah, easy.
Noor. So Noor.
You're not the only one.
I should have cut and
It's
put just
also
Noor, isn't it?
call me by other name like Ariata, Arata, or instead of
Yeah,
Ariati. It's
yeah,
not, yeah.
easy.
Especially
I
for the
should have put
Western.
Noor.
Yeah. And how about you? Your
Yeah,
preference?
so
How do you go about? Yeah.
my sahur, I have to wake up for sahur. It's a must. If I didn't wake up for sahur, I don't think I can survive. I mean, I can, but I prefer to wake up for sahur. And anyway, it's a
Of course.
sunnah to wake up sahur, so it's good. So my sahur have to have a strong one, like rice. I always have to have rice. So I have a small bowl. I do a small bowl of rice with, the leftover from the iftar. I don't like to waste food. So whatever, when I cook for iftar, I cook extra, and then have the rice and the small whatever from iftar in the small bowls. So I didn't take a lot, and then I will take something else like cereal, something sweet, and then I have fruit and tea, water or juice, and kurma date. So that's my sahur. It's actually quite a lot, but they're all in a small bowl. So I prefer to, have everything but small amount, and that will get me through the whole day without any problem. It's pretty good. So I have the sweet, the savory, enough liquid, some tea to keep me going. Some people will take coffee in the morning, but I prefer tea, so I take tea, and I drink 2 glasses of water before the end of sahur. And then my iftar will be start with sweet, so some fruit, dates. I do some kueh like yesterday. I'll show you. See if I can screenshot this. I'm sure. I'll show you. Please see. I'm not sure. I'm sharing screen. Yeah, so that's what I made. The onde-onde or buah Melaka, and then I do banana fritters. And yeah, and so we start with iftar like that. And then tea for the kids will have like hot chocolates. I like some warm to break my iftar. So we will have that, and then we'll stop a bit. I'll go for praying, have my maghrib, and then I'll come back with dinner. So dinner usually, whatever savory, fried rice with some dishes, noodles. So my husband, he's from France. He's not so much a big fan of rice, although now he's following us because I'm the cook.
Of
So
course.
he eat whatever I cook. So he will have bread for his sahur, and he's happy with have all this sweet. Yeah. For Raya, yeah, I just want to share you with for Raya. I do this. You can see. This is like the ketupat that I usually prepare. You can have that in the Asian shop, really easy, and it's a glutinous rice. And then I'll cook my rendang paste, some rendang paste. So nowadays here we don't do the traditional way where we cook from scratch because it's a small family. I do the rendang paste and that and prepare some kueh for 8. So that's the sharing. The oldest thing you can get it in any Asian shop. Really easy now. Like compared to 10 years ago, you can't get them. But now you just easy, very easy. You can get all this in any Asian shop.
Yeah.
You know,
I see that it is becoming easier and easier and accessible. Cultural spices and dishes and items, and I mean it's now very. I've seen all the foods here. I see so many Pakistani restaurants here now. So whenever you're
yeah.
missing, you just can cook or just walk into a restaurant.
Yeah. When I came here, I don't know how to cook. I so used to in Malaysia, and I think you probably same in Indonesia. Foods are everywhere. You can buy them so easily that you don't cook. But when I came here, I start cooking. I start to get all the recipe from my grandmother. Look in internet how to cook that, all the traditional dishes that you miss, and then that's my way of coping with my missing Malaysia, missing my family with food. I cope with all the taste that I have to remind me of my family back in Malaysia. What is
Cool.
Frank said
We
there?
just we've got a comment. I assume that you don't eat spicy stuff or onion garlic in the morning in order not to become too thirsty during the day. So my and taking this question forward, what would be your tips for people who are fasting? Have more of what to avoid thirst or not getting hungry or getting enough energy to get you through to the day, because it can be tough, especially if you're working. Because back home in Pakistan, we would have limited hours in Ramadan, working hours officially. They would, be limited hours, but that's not the case here. So what do you do not to keep yourself thirsty or hungry or low on energy for the day?
Can I start?
Yes, please.
Well, for me, I'm
Hakeem start
lucky.
first.
Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
I think I'm lucky. I'm working. I'm in that category of what you can call a white collar job, so to say. So
yeah.
I can just sit down in one place. I don't expend too much energy, unless
Right.
maybe, of course, if you call the brain work energy. So I'm very lucky in that sense that I can. But then it still takes its toll on me because maybe I can start fresh in the morning, but by the time it's already like on the normal working hours, if I work late, then my attention, my concentration will kind of kind of decline with the day as it goes by. So naturally, just like for people that work, what I would advise for people that do hard work also is maybe they can cut down their hours work in that period of time to just to make it easier. And that's why I said, for me, part of it is just relating to my manager to let them know that I do this, so I would need some concession. And usually for people I've worked with, I haven't had a problem so far because I can say like I often work hard enough at other times anyway for them to be able to give me that concession. So yeah, I think that's the same that I would advise for anyone else.
Lovely. And you, Noor? How about you?
I'm very I try to have a balanced food. I'm not so much a fan of spicy food, although I do eat spicy, but I'm not a fan because I like to have different tastes. I think spicy sometimes kill my taste, so I like to have a good variation of flavor. So in my preparation in iftars, I try to have a balance, like I said, a bit of savory, a bit of sweets, um, some fruits, and in the savory, usually my rice, I like to keep my rice soft. So I cook my rice a little bit softer for whole. So it's easy for you for my belly, and easy for the belly to take that. And then some soup. Soup is always good, especially in winter. And then some veggie and meat. So egg is always another way to keep the energy going. Either you fry the egg or soft boiled egg in the diet, and cereal. So instead of having some sweet, I will have cereal with yogurt, with some fruits and nuts. And so far with the diet that I'm using, I try not to have like the chili paste, or we call sambal for the sahur, because that's not good for your belly. So you try to give a really subtle kind of flavor to
Suhoor, yeah. Tend to get thirsty.
yeah.
You can
You
get
get
thirsty.
thirsty, you can get sore throat, because you need to be careful that you're doing Ramadan where you're not eating, so you want to take care for the. And also when you when you do iftar, you want to eat calmly too. You start
Yeah.
eating with some sweet, and then you have a break, and then you come back and have your dinner. And I think
Right.
it's not so. Beside your food that you eat is also that routine that you create for your body, so that your body understand, not to shock after the whole day of not eating.
Yes, I use a lot of yogurt in the morning and so just to consume as much, not to get thirsty. And it is also very important to have that routine and be selective what you eat, because I've seen that people tend to gain weight and during fasting. There's certain people who gain weight rather than
Yeah,
looking into a routine.
I can share a kind of a common meal that I have usually when I break the when I do the iftar. So it's
Sure.
like any dinner, nothing special. It's yeah. So you can see the sharing.
Yes.
So you can see a dish, veggie, and so try to have a balanced food,
Balance, yeah.
and always, yeah. So that's not chili. If you're looking at that, you think it's chili. No, it's not chili. It's a capsicum and
Right.
tomato.
Tomato, capsicum. Is that spinach? Was that spinach?
And spinach and some prawn and vegetables. So I think if you keep your diet in that way, it will, the Ramadan will be nice. Will be
Easier.
kangkong. Yes, yes, Miko. But that's not kangkong. That is spinach. It's actually called bayam in Malay. We call it bayam or amarat, I think it's called in English. You can get it also in any Asian shop. Bayam, yeah, Ati?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bayam is a good source of iron and it gives you energy. So you
Iron,
choose,
correct.
you know, yeah, you choose all these ingredients when you cook so that it sort of, you know, help you to go through that whole fasting. My kids love it, so it's good.
Excellent. I think we have almost done with our time here, and I would really want to thank you on behalf of our whole team for being here and being such lovely guests. And it was lovely talking to you today, both of you, or both the guests, Hakeem, Ati, and Zain. Would you like to say something and before we leave as a message for everyone who are watching this show today? Hakeem, would you like to go first?
Oh, well, yeah, no, I'd just like to say Ramadan Kareem to all the brothers and sisters out there. Alhamdulillah, we are very, very lucky this year, especially to have such a wonderful opportunity to be back in the community, because we obviously remember how desolate it was last year. We were all in isolation. We couldn't, you know, have Tarawih regularly in the masjid. But alhamdulillah, you know, everything is like under control here. I particularly, I want to tell people to make their practice what it should be. They're not, in as much as it's nice also to reflect back home and think about all the good things that we had. I think this is a clean new slate for us to establish our faith and our practice and our culture. So we should be confident in, you know, asserting ourselves as to this is what we believe and this is what we do, and make the effort to explain to people in the wider community beyond our Islamic community, so to say, so that they have an understanding of who we are. And inshallah, it will get easier for generations after us. Yeah.
Inshallah, that was lovely. You, Noor, anything you want to say before we say?
Yeah, thank you, Tabe, and thank you so much for this opportunity to come and share some of the Ramadan experience with all of you. I would like to say enjoy the last week of Ramadan. Yeah, and enjoy the time that you have with your family, your loved one. Even though they're far, you still have methods to reach them and to ask for forgiveness and to connect. Let's not, you know, make use of COVID as a reason not to be close to each other, and make use of this Ramadan as a way to tighten our relationship between families and also community. So Ramadan Kareem, and hopefully we will celebrate Idul Fitri or Eid soon. To all everyone who's watching, I wish you a good Eid. Thank you so much for having me here.
And thank you so much for all honorable guests, and thank you so much for sharing your routines with us and making us a part of your life. And it indeed was a lovely and a very insightful experience. And I hope that our viewers who are watching in have the same opinion. And I thank you again on behalf of our whole team, and God bless you. And hopefully to talk to you again on Eid.
Hopefully. And thank you for Department of Multicultural, if I'm not mistaken, for
Yes, we thank
Department of
the
Multicultural Affairs Victoria
yes
for
to make
making this possible.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a good iftar, everyone.
Thank you so much, and may you have a lovely evening ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Okay, Hakeem, thank you so much. And Ati, it was a pure pleasure today.
Yes. Sorry. Nice to meet you, Ati and Hakeem. Selamat Hari Raya, Ati.
Thank you, and Aslam.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.
Sampai jumpa.
Sampai jumpa lagi.
Bye.
Thank you.